Hello, and welcome to Rainy Tuesdays, podcast by friends for friends. Just a lesser crew here, just me and Margaux.
Hi.
Summer is rough, trying to get people's schedules aligned, but
Yeah.
I actually don't know what you've been doing, since I know I've not been able to be on the past few. I don't know if there even have been a past few.
Well, we did an episode on the Roe v. Wade thing, which was very fun, very cool. Fun's probably not the right word. It was sad.
Sounds like depressing.
It was really tough to edit, but we did it. That was cool. I think
So
for
check it
summer.
out then, if you missed it, like I did.
We had a few new faces on it, except there were no faces. It was a faceless podcast. It was a podcast. But
Was it not a video component?
I did like a drawing video for it where I just did like art on like my body, my choice kind of thing because I didn't want to like keep switching between a ton of different videos.
Yeah, sure. That'd be a lot to edit.
Yeah. So yeah, that was good. For summer, I think we are switching to an every other week release schedule to combat the toughness of recording.
It is not ideal. I mean,
yeah.
I don't know. I know I'm super busy.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
And Ryan seems to be as well. So.
Fair. I think we'll be able to handle every other week and then probably back to regular during the fall months. Yeah, it'll be great.
It's so much. I don't know what it is. I mean, I'm sure it's just a school thing where you're like,
it's a structure thing.
Once you're in school, everything is so structured and it's so easy to.
And it's such similar structures. Like even though it's like different schools, it's the same vibe. Like you're still doing school at the same time.
There's always like I know which days I am fully able to record.
Right.
And weekends are basically always available. Where that's not true over summer.
But like, yeah, summer is free reign. Everyone's going crazy. It's just wild. I might be going to the beach this summer for the first time since like middle school.
Oh. What beach?
I think Delaware. They have beaches. Yeah. It's kind of like peninsula-y. Don't quote me.
I don't think it is.
I think it's got like two connecting parts instead of just one. But that means there's a beach on it.
It is on the coast, so I'm sure there are beaches. I just don't know. Delaware is such a weird choice. I don't think about Delaware as in like I'm going to Delaware for like a thing. It's like, oh, that's a state that does exist. But does it?
My
or is
understanding.
It just a tax haven?
My understanding is that it was cheaper than some of the other beaches that we could go to, and there was like hiking near it. So it wasn't like just a beach experience. We could also go hiking instead, which I prefer. Yeah. So that'll be good. It'll be fun. I only have a single bathing suit, so I don't know exactly how that's gonna work. But we'll see. I also don't intend to go into the ocean. You can see why I haven't been to the beach in a while.
Are you going on like a longer trip then? Like
I think it's just gonna be like a long weekend.
Oh, okay.
Nah. Yeah.
I feel like you only need one bathing suit.
This is my thing, right? Is like I could just do one bathing suit for if I intend to touch water at some point, and then the rest I can just do like a tank top and shorts kind of thing if we go to the beach on multiple days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I am not a beach person, but my family does, in fact, enjoy beaches. So I've been on many beachy vacations.
Right.
And in my opinion, and maybe I'm wrong, I feel like you really only need multiple bathing suits if you're in multiple different types of water. Like I have one bathing suit for like the resort pool, chlorine, and I have a different bathing suit for like the ocean.
I see. That makes sense. I get that. I'm not an oceaner.
I don't know. I don't really like beaches.
It's sand. It's not to be a Star Wars boy, but like sand is gross. It gets everywhere.
Sand really is annoying.
Yeah.
And then I don't know. They're just not that fun to me.
I think like well, I do also have a fear of water that I can't see through, as we've established on the podcast.
Add to the list of weird fears that you have.
That one I feel like is my most normal fear. Um,
I suppose it is like a
right, like people are afraid of the
like
ocean.
a thing, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm afraid of the ocean, but also like lakes. I think it stems from living on a lake when I was a small child, and there were water snakes.
Water snakes.
Water snakes. Those are gross.
I've been to many, many, many lakes, and I don't think I've ever been to one that has a water snake.
Yeah. They were gross.
Does not sound like something you want to be like swimming along and then something slimy like swims past you. I assume they don't bite you?
I can't imagine that they ever would have. I also, to be completely honest, I was less than 5 years old when I lived there.
So you don't even remember the water snakes.
I don't really, but also I want to make it clear that my story is even less credible because I did say this was in the South, and water snake could be a term for a really long and weird fish that I just think means an actual snake that lives in the water. So, but it's a southern like state, which means that anyone who referred to it as a water snake was a southerner, and they're not known for accurately describing things all the time.
No, they sure are not. So it could be anything.
Could be anything. Oh, a water snake could be like a weird bug.
Conceptual thing.
Yeah, like, it could be seaweed.
Yeah.
Or
it could be like a lake monster.
Yeah, could be the Loch Ness monster was a water snake. Yeah. Either way, I'm creeped out by it, and I only like water I can see through, like a pool. Yeah, but so that'll be interesting. I think at most I'll like let water touch my feet and then be kind of grossed out and move on.
Kind of boring.
Maybe a little sand castle. That's a beach thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever built a sand castle. It seems like a formative beach activity, and I don't know if I've ever done that.
Yeah, I was planning this with my friends, and we were saying that this is going to be like our beach episode from Avatar, which then prompted us to discuss like, you know, who's going to yell at like their father to the wind, like Zuko.
I think technically Avatar has 2 beach episodes.
You're actually so right.
Because there's the one with the Fire Nation gang, but then there's also like right at the end after they see the play.
Yeah.
Where they're just chilling on the beach. I think that counts as well. And then
okay, well then I could
like,
also I could also build a sand art portrait of one of my fellow beachgoers.
Yeah.
So I've got options. Oh man. But yeah, I think that'll be cute. Enough about that though. Stranger Things is out.
Yeah. As your resident podcast that only talks about pop culture, we feel obligated to talk about Stranger Things. But also, I love Stranger Things. And this season is fantastic. You've only seen one episode. So
I've only seen one episode of it, but I did enjoy the episode.
It's really good, and I don't know. This season is really knocking it out of the park for me. I hope all of you will think the same, because I love this show. But I don't know, it's fantastic, and it really just reminds me how much I love this show in general.
Have been like season 4 is great.
Yeah,
like I don't think I've seen any like this really didn't live up to the standard kind of things, you know.
I just haven't seen much about it in general.
I feel like I'm avoiding spoilers left and right.
Oh, I don't know. My TikTok is so focused on 2 things, and those 2 things are the
Lesbians.
gays and Ren fairs, and because those are like in full swing right now, I really see nothing else.
Fair.
So maybe my TikTok is not
The most
qualified
accurate
to,
news source.
yeah,
Oh my god.
because that's
That's
usually how I
funny.
judge like how popular something is. But then
Sure.
I really shouldn't, because then I don't see
Because it's so tailored to
things.
you. It's like how much TikTok thinks you care about Stranger Things.
And I would like to see Stranger Things stuff. Although I do want to avoid spoilers.
Yeah.
My girlfriend and I have been watching it, and she's like, "Yep, that got spoiled for me. That got spoiled for me." I'm like,
No.
what?
Ah, see, that's what I'm
So,
trying to avoid. Yeah. Ugh.
and then she has the audacity to be like, "And this is what it was." I'm like, oh, don't spoil it for me
No.
too.
Yeah. Oh.
There's this moment where in the 6th episode where some crazy stuff is going down, and then she's like, "Oh, this is the spoiler that I just got," and then it didn't happen in that episode, and it was like, so now it's a pretty much, it's like just kind of not like plot wise necessarily,
Sure.
but just something that happens. But still, I was like, okay, but I want to experience it for the first time and not be in anticipation that it might happen.
I feel like y'all are in like an Uno game, and she just added +2 on top of another +2 so that you would get +4.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh man. But
But
yeah.
it's so good, and it just reminds me how much I love it.
Fair. We were talking about it a little bit before we started recording, and I think that just based on season episode 1, season 4 episode 1, we got there. Which is all I've seen so far. I think it lives up to the same hype that season 1 did for me, which like I think this is where we like disagree on Stranger Things. I don't think seasons 2 and 3 were bad. I think they had a lot of really iconic moments, and I obviously watched them as soon as possible. But it was just like, it was continuing a show that I really loved because I really loved season 1. Less
Mm-hmm.
so because like I think if season 2 was the first season and like the only thing I'd ever seen, I might not have been as hype about the show. Um, yeah,
I suppose I think there's like it's kind of complicated in that it's hard to say that season like when something compares to season 1 when season
hmm
1 is like the formative experience and it has that
yeah,
like almost nostalgia factor at this point. It's like, oh, remember
true,
when
yeah.
that took the world by storm? And then
Everyone was talking about it, yeah.
it's hard to compare to the current things to something like that. But
Uh-huh.
then for me, I love every season of Stranger Things, but
Sure.
I almost like the more recent seasons more because
Oh,
I feel like season 1, although it's really good,
mhm.
suffered for me because as the audience, we knew what was going on before any of the characters did and before the story felt the need to tell us. So
Sure.
whereas like the later seasons are very much you're figuring out the mystery, you don't know what's happening. But season 1
Mhm.
is like, all right, I'm media literate, I know what's going on. I've
Right.
seen this stuff before,
Mhm.
which was maybe a little frustrating. And then it took a few additional episodes where you're like, okay, well the
For everyone
characters
to
have
be
to
caught
figure
up.
this out because it's new for
Yeah.
them.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Because like this current season, I don't know what's going on. Trying to
Fair.
figure it out, but like you can have your theories,
Yeah.
but like
Episode 1 was
you don't
so
know
hype
necessarily.
though. Like
Yeah.
it was like full swing of things. And this was another thing is I feel like the first 3 seasons were all like relatively calm towards the beginning, and then they amped up in like excitement
Yeah.
and gore, to be fair. And I'm sure season 4 will also amp up, but it's just kind of crazy to start at this level because I feel
Yeah.
like most of the other seasons start way lower.
Yeah.
um
There's more of a build up, I suppose.
yeah. um so that was crazy. But yeah, it, along with Dungeons and Daddies, a very good podcast that is also like 3 or 4 years old. But um I am in a D&D mood, and that has been fun. Um,
Um, my girlfriend and I have gotten into Critical Role, so that's what we've been listening to.
fair.
I'm
Yeah.
finally caught up. Well, almost. Critical Role is long, so it's really
It's like,
difficult.
that's a commitment. Yeah.
It's really difficult to
Like,
listen.
Dungeons and Daddies only started in like 2019. So that's like pretty easy to really get into and
Well,
catch up on. But
Critical Role is on their third campaign now, so
Uh-huh.
it's somewhat less. That they have 24 episodes of this current campaign, so it's somewhat
Okay.
less to
Fair.
get caught up on.
Yeah.
Um, I could not even possibly go back and listen to their old stuff. That's
Yeah.
just not happening.
Fair. Like, what a whole time though.
But I was gonna say something else about Stranger Things, in that it does one of my favorite storytelling ways, I guess, in that all the characters are kind of doing their own thing, and they
Oh
have all
yeah.
their separate storylines that then come together at the end,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just it's great to get like the pieces of the mystery
Truly.
from different storylines and then adding them together.
Yeah.
This season is maybe a little bit less than that, and then I feel
Okay.
like the other storylines aren't adding to the mystery necessarily. Not like season 3 or
Mm-hmm.
the first 3 seasons were like really they're all figuring out the same thing but different
Yeah.
aspects of it. This one is less. It's more like the characters are all in different places, and they all have
Sure.
their own storylines, but they're not all part of the same mystery, I guess.
Okay. That makes sense. I do
It's
agree
difficult
with
to
you though
explain
that
without
that
like
is
just straight up
spoiling things.
kind of because
Without
if you've
adding
only
another
seen the
plus
first,
2 on me.
yeah, if you've only seen the first episode, you didn't even know like which characters get split up and what happens and anything like that. So
My assumption could be entirely wrong, and we'll see. Only time will tell. I assume based on trailers that
oh yeah, you watched trailers.
only like the big one. I know that they had a bunch of other like teaser things and like I think they had like 2 or 3 trailers. I watched like the first actual trailer. Um
Yes,
so
the
based
one that
on
I
that,
didn't believe you guys when you said it
yeah, you were
existed.
like, that's so not a thing that exists. And we were like, yes, it is.
Yeah, that's the only trailer I watched,
Fair.
which is
Um,
incredibly vague.
yeah. So based on that incredibly fake trailer, my assumption is that Sadie and is her name Sadie in the show, or is that the
No, that's
actress's
her
name?
actress. Max is the character's name.
Thank you. And Lucas
Mm-hmm.
is the character name.
Yes, Lucas is the character.
Yeah, I assume that they're going to be split into a group together at some point, if not forced to work together. And that's also mostly because of the first episode and how much they're like beefing in the first episode. Yeah, I guess beefing is not the right word, but just like they're not like friends.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, so that's my assumption. Also, we gotta have Dustin and Harry Boy together.
Steve.
Yeah.
There's this there's this joke that Steve makes where he's like, "Why am I always the babysitter?" Because he gets stuck with the kids, and it's like that really is just what he does now.
Because he's the perfect babysitter. Like it's just such a good dynamic. It
Yeah,
has been since season 1.
it's
Like,
perfect, and his
yeah,
every interaction he has with Dustin is
I
incredible.
love it. Yeah.
It's amazing.
Oh man, I'm excited for like everyone to get back together though, because they're like in different states right now.
Yes,
Yeah,
some characters are in
Chronicles.
California, and the others are back in Hawkins, which is in Indiana, I think.
I think so. Yeah, that feels right. Yeah. um.
My girlfriend and I did hurt ourselves in our watch though, in that we are almost done with the released episodes, and the last 2 are staggered, so they're not even staggered, just delayed. I guess is like
Yeah.
they're not coming out until next month, so it's like,
I really
oh, we
thought that
can
it was going to
just.
be cut in half, and then I found
That's
out
what
that it
I
was
did
just 2
too.
episodes. Yeah.
But the last 2 episodes are
Long.
extremely long. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, each episode is maybe an hour 20,
Yeah.
but then I think episode 8 is like an hour 40, and then the finale is like 2.5 hours.
Right.
So it is almost like it's cut in half a little. But I did too. I thought it
Fair.
was like we have one half of the season and then we have another half of the season.
Yeah. How do you feel about um the way that they're releasing this one? Like not even just like the episodes being cut in like 7 and 2, but like I know we had talked a little bit about how Arcane was like 3 episode arcs at a time.
Mm-hmm.
Were those like a week apart when they were released, or
Yeah,
was it
it was just a
okay?
week. 3
That's what I
episodes each
thought.
week.
Yeah, but this is like a month between the release.
Yeah, it feels. I don't know. I like staggered releases.
Mhm.
I think. Well, I'm kind of torn. I
Okay.
personally am
Yeah.
fine with it being released all at once. I know
Yeah,
some people
same.
are like, I don't like the binging aspect. I don't really care either way.
Yeah.
Um, but I do get like, if you want a show to really get prolonged attention, it's better
Mhm.
to do staggered. So from like a marketing standpoint, it's better that way. But
Yeah.
I don't like it when it's one episode a week, like these Disney
No.
Plus shows.
That's
And
too
now
much.
The Boys is coming out as well, and
Sure.
it's also one episode a week, and it's like
Uh-huh.
it's just difficult for me to like remember the show exists if it's once a week.
Fair.
Um,
Yeah.
so I really liked Arcane's the way they did it because
I think
there's
that was
enough
really ideal.
to have you keep going if
Yeah.
like three
And to like
episodes can
sustain you
last
for the
you.
week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although I mean I watched it in like one sitting, but it's because I was instantly obsessed.
Sure. Yeah.
But I don't know. This feels too long to have a month in between. And
To
I
me, it
get
kind
that
of feels
like
like they just weren't done with the last two
yeah,
episodes.
doesn't it?
Yeah. It
Like they
doesn't
just
feel
weren't
like they
finished.
meant to do it like this. It feels like they like gave a release like month, which was this month, and then they were like, "Oh, it's not all ready," and so they're like, "We'll just say those last two,"
Yeah.
which that might not be what happened at all, but that's just how it feels.
Yeah. I mean, given the length of the episodes,
Hmm.
I could see it lasting the whole month if
Yeah.
we were smarter about it and didn't just burn through it all right away. But
Hmm.
it's really hard not to when it's so good.
Sure.
But
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I would have moved them closer or did like the staggered thing where you get like because it's 7 episodes. So if you did like
It's 9 episodes in total,
three,
right? So
yeah, if
like
you did like
three
three
every
and
week.
then 2 weeks
Yeah.
later you have four,
Sure.
and then 2 weeks later is the final two. I think that would have been fine.
That would have made sense. Yeah. Especially with the final two being that long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or given all the stories, I probably would have done 4 episodes and then three.
Three. Makes sense. Sure. Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. Um Weird time for releasing things. Because also Obi-Wan, when that dropped, their first week they released 2 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
And then they did the 1 episode thing.
Right. How many episodes is Obi-Wan?
It's gonna be 6 in total. There's 3 out right now.
Okay.
So it was just kind of weird. So it's gonna be like releasing for 5 weeks. But I don't know. I just thought it was strange that they released 2 because they haven't done that to my knowledge with any of their other shows.
WandaVision was 2 episodes
Was it?
first,
Okay.
but I think that might have been the only one to my knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
Unless Mandalorian did 2 episodes, but
I don't think it
if
did. I'm pretty sure it didn't because I remember doing watch parties for both seasons for the first episode, and like it was only 1 episode.
I just remember for sure WandaVision, but
Yeah.
also the first 2 WandaVision episodes are like 20 minutes each.
Yeah.
So
They're also like nothing happens, and you're just kind of like, what's going on?
nothing happens. It's a lot of intrigue.
Yeah, it's a lot of like something's definitely going on, but we will tell you nothing about it. Here's the 60s.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. It was good though. It got me hooked. But yeah, I think that's our pop culture roundup.
It's the time right now. I feel like there's a ton of shows out. Stranger Things,
Yes.
The Boys. I'll watch Obi-Wan someday.
Here's the thing.
Maybe when The Mandalorian shows up, I'll watch. Although I think it's actually a full-on separate time, isn't it?
It is, yeah, because
So,
this is
okay.
before the original trilogy, and Mandalorian is after the original trilogy.
Yeah. So.
But what I'm trying not to give you any spoilers about Obi-Wan, but I had like a conflicting conversation about it earlier today where I was like, I loved the first 2 episodes. I was so hooked. They were so fun. And then the third episode came out and they did something in it that kind of annoyed me. That I was like really scared they would do in the series, and I was really hoping that they wouldn't. It's not irreparable. Like they can fix it, But
Now I'm
right now it's
curious
a
as to
problem.
what this issue is.
If you want a spoiler, I will give it, but I will not give it unprompted.
How spoilery is a spoiler?
Um, basically just telling you like what happens in the third episode. Like there's a fight that happens in it that it would be talking about that.
Does Maul
Um,
show up?
no,
Then I don't care.
you don't
Spoiler
care.
free, no.
Okay, Vader comes in and fights
Oh,
Obi-Wan, and that's
wild.
so upsetting because he kind of beats the shit out of Obi-Wan. Spoiler alert. And like in, you might remember A New Hope, when they interact for the first time, seemingly in years, Vader goes, "When I left you, I was but the learner. Now I am the master," implying that when they left, it was a Mustafar when he so horribly lost all of his limbs in a fight with Obi-Wan.
Right.
And so now this kind of ruins that because it's like, well, clearly this guy, he just really beat Obi-Wan. So he's not really a learner and arguably kind of a master in
I
this fight.
I do think they fight in the Rebels show, though, don't they?
But isn't it like not? Isn't it
I have
not
never seen
Vader?
Rebels, nor do I intend to. But I felt like I saw something about Obi-Wan
I
and
thought
Vader fighting.
they didn't because I thought it was like, well, in this show, it's canon that this is the first time Obi-Wan even knows that Vader is Anakin. Um,
Oh,
so if Rebels happens before this show, then that can't be true. I know that in Rebels, Obi-Wan fights Maul and kills
maybe
him for
that's
like
what I'm
the
thinking of.
umpteenth time. Um, um, yeah, it's a time. But
The first result I was trying to find it in Rebels, but it pulled out stuff from the show. Was
sure.
why Obi-Wan versus Darth Vader rematch doesn't break Star Wars canon,
But it does.
but it sure sounds like it
Here's
does. But
here's my
also,
thing.
oh, go ahead.
No, I know it doesn't matter. My thing is like they can fix it, right? Because like the whole vibe is Obi-Wan is like, just watched all of his fellow Jedi like die and
Mm-hmm.
he's like kind of bummed a bit about that fact. And so it's like I can understand it if in this fight he wasn't like top-notch self and like maybe later in the series they'll fight again and like, he'll really beat Vader. Like
Mm-hmm.
and that's great. And then Vader will be the learner and Obi-Wan will be the master. And then ha ha ha, the line makes sense again. But like, I don't know, it just felt weird. Like Star Wars breaks and like creates plot holes all the time, you know?
Yeah.
And like most of the time I don't care at all. But I think I care about this one because it is just such a big moment that it's like you couldn't have forgotten about that moment. It was kind of a big thing.
It was kind of a big deal in New Hope, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, New Hope
Yeah.
was like 80 years ago.
But like it's
Actually,
also what
it's like
created the entire
50,
franchise.
more than 50 years ago.
Yeah, it was
But,
77. Yeah. But yeah,
oh no, wait, then not 50 years. I was thinking it was
what
earlier.
about, right?
I don't know. It
Almost.
doesn't matter.
I can't do
But,
that.
yeah, it is kind of formative to be like,
Yeah.
and we're throwing this in for fan service.
I know, and that's what it was. And like again, it wouldn't have been a problem if they had like done the fight and like had Obi-Wan really, really beat Vader. Because then that still makes sense. Or they could have like just kind of talked some and not really fight. I know that's not really their vibe, but they could have just had a little conversation. Um,
Sat down for tea.
yeah.
Caught up. So I've been taking over the galaxy. What have you been up to?
Yeah. Like at some point he's like, you should have killed me when you got the chance. And it's like, what a good line. That line could still be in there. But just over some tea on a little coffee date. Not while he's beating Obi-Wan. Oh man. Um yeah, but that's my Obi-Wan review as of this moment. Is that it's really good, except for when it's really not. But also everyone else loved that I've talked to. Like nobody else has had this like reaction to it in my experience. So I think it's just a me thing.
I'm going to wager that most people do not remember that. Hey,
Yeah.
Yoana.
Hi.
Dropping right in the middle.
Oh man. Also Yoana's here, and we're talking about Obi-Wan right now,
Yeah.
the show. Um, but
But yeah,
what were you gonna say?
I was just gonna say that would be willing to bet that most people do not remember the exact lines that Obi-Wan said and its um, effects on the Star Wars canon.
Yeah,
And most people
that's fair.
are like, "Ooh, cool lightsaber fight," and that's the
Fun
extent.
fun little Margaux fact is that in high school senior year I did do a duo interpretation in my speech team for A New Hope. So I know that script really well. Probably too well. Anyway, yeah. Also Leia's too young.
Leia's in it too.
Yeah, Luke and Leia are in it, and they're supposed to be like 10 years old at this point, and Leia's actress looks like 5. She's really good, but she's just so small. You just can't believe she's 10.
Watch her like the actress actually be 10.
I watch her be like 15, but like she looks like a 5-year-old. But she's real good. Probably my favorite part. Sorry, Obi-Wan. Ewan McGregor is still wonderful. Anyway.
Guess how old she is.
20.
No, she is in fact 10.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
She looks so small. I have noticed more and more throughout my life that I have no idea how old children are.
Yeah, neither do I.
They're just tiny, and I'm like, yeah, you're probably 2.
And they're like, I'm in 2nd grade.
I know, yeah. And you're like, whoa, you're really smart. Oh, man. Hey, Yoana, how have you been?
It's very bright.
And,
very bright, yeah.
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out, like, there's a light switch, and it turns on all the lights, and I don't know how to have just, like, one light on. So it's either all the lights or no lights at all.
All or nothing. Very fun. I don't have a light in my room that is like in the ceiling. I only have like lamps.
I don't either.
Yeah, but you got lamps over there.
Oh, that's true. I have a like a ceiling light in my kitchen, but I don't have one in my living room.
Yeah,
I don't know what you call it in like an apartment.
I think a living room.
Living room.
It just makes it kind of a weird vibe. You're like, oh, yeah. That's my contribution to lights. But yeah. What have you been up to, Yoana? School's done.
I went, hanging out with all the Bulgarian friends. I came down to St. Louis yesterday.
Nice.
Played with goats today.
What kind of goats?
Little goats.
Perfect.
They ate my hair.
Perfect. Yeah.
Margaret, do you know like goat breeds off the bat?
No, I like. It's just like there's like those yoga goats. There's like those screaming goats. Then there's just like goats.
They were just little tiny baby goats.
Perfect. I think those are the best kind of goats. I think the yoga goats are also goats, to be fair. I think I just don't like screaming goats.
I mean, they were making like noise, but that's because they're...
No, but there's like a specific type of goat that like yells. And then there's goats that just kind of like make their little noises.
Yeah.
I didn't want to baa because that's a sheep, but...
Yeah. I did feel a little sad that all the animals were like enclosed.
A little short.
Yeah.
It depends on where though, because sometimes it's safer for them. Like.
Yeah, it was like a lot of them were like out in the woods.
Okay.
Like it was like Grant, like Ulysses S. Grant's like farm.
Okay.
There were a lot of like animals just vibing out in the woods.
That's probably nice then. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it was fun.
Yeah.
Rena and her sister and her boyfriend took me there. It was fun.
Yeah. What were you gonna say, Adam?
Oh, there was like a petting farm that I used to go to as a kid up in Michigan that had a bunch of goats, and they were not in like a forest, but they had like this whole jungle gym apparatus that they seemingly liked to climb around on. And they also just get fed all day because there's loads of treats that you can feed them to get them like eat out of your hand and close enough to pet them. So
Makes sense.
they seem to enjoy it.
I think goats are probably my favorite, like, weird farming animal. Like, when you start extending past just, like, cows and pigs.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's the most like exotic, I suppose,
Sure.
out of like
Yeah.
farm animal possibilities.
Right.
We're like,
They're
ooh,
so cute.
Goats.
Oh my god.
I
This
know
is like a
goats
fancy farm.
like do all the same stuff.
Yeah.
We just don't think of them.
No.
At least not
They're so
Midwest,
cute,
where
though.
you're used to just seeing cows all the time.
You guys have a lot of cows.
I am a big fan of cows, though.
They're cute. They've got weird tongues.
I love their tongues.
They're creepy.
So good.
They're so long.
I love that when they like go up their nose.
Yeah.
That's scary.
You do like the thing where you like pet between their eyes kind of thing, and they like wrap their tongue around your arm. That freaks me out. I don't like
I
that.
adore that.
Feels like a snake
I
just
love
coming out of
snakes.
their mouth. Well, yeah. Yeah. All right.
Oh, I wouldn't have been snacking if I knew it was an episode.
Oh my god. I do want to at some point. I've said this for maybe like 3 times before throughout the 2 years we've been doing the podcast. That I want to do like a pizza party episode at some point where we just eat pizza.
Oh my God.
I will say, I know some people really hate the sound of chewing. Not to like
We'll
say this as you want to eat, but as in regards to like a pizza party episode, I listened to
Gonna eat
this.
later.
I listened to this like it's like a fast food review podcast, although it's really just a comedy podcast.
Sure.
And they always clarify like we eat the food, but not on the show because some people.
What we'll
get
do
really,
is whenever we're taking a bite, we'll
against
mute
that.
ourselves. We only unmute when we're not eating.
we just mime eating pizza the whole time, like pizza.
Yummy food. Like aliens trying to fit in. Oh my god.
I went to buy pizza today, and I always get margarita pizzas.
I love margarita pizzas.
They were gone. Another
Where were we?
travesty of living in Iowa, and that sometimes the food just isn't there.
Sometimes we all just starve.
I was like, I could have 6 different types of meat pizzas, or the 1 cheese pizza, or
Right.
the 0 margarita pizzas.
Ugh, that's
They
very
did
sad.
have a lot of Hawaiian pizzas actually, which was kind of strange.
How does a margarita pizza differ from a regular cheese pizza?
It's not like that mixed cheese on top. Like it's not all just like shredded mozzarella. Presumably, it's like the sliced mozzarella and basil and like good stuff.
Yeah, it's got
Yeah.
basil. It's usually tomato bits on top of it.
Mhm. They're really
Although
good.
that is a good point. In Italy, margherita pizza is a cheese pizza. That's just what they call it. But
Fair.
in America, they're different.
Yeah. That's how it is in Bulgaria too. Like a margarita is just like a regular cheese pizza.
That makes sense. Yeah. Do you guys like stuffed crust? Yes or no?
I don't think I've had. It's been so long. I
Fair.
think from the last time I've had stuffed crust, I was a fan.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say the same. I feel like I never have stuffed crust, but
Fair.
if I encounter it, yes, it's good.
I feel like every time I've encountered it, it's been like kind of bad. It's like such a great thing in concept that maybe I'm like building up my expectations too much that when I have it, I'm like, this is a letdown. That's my interpretation.
I literally cannot remember the last time I had a stuffed crust pizza.
I think
so
it's definitely
don't
been
know.
years for me, but like, yeah.
I feel
But
like it would be good to like dip in the marinara sauce. That they give you
Sure,
with
like
pizza.
treat it like
Yeah.
one of those like school cheese sticks.
Mhm.
Fair. That makes sense.
Those are so good.
They were good. Those were like the only time I would ever consider getting lunch from the school cafeteria, personally.
And the nachos. I was a fan of the nachos.
We didn't have nachos. Yeah. Fair. Most of the time I did pack my lunch though. Because that just felt like the better option.
Is this high school cafeteria?
Yeah.
You're talking about? Oh, okay. Yeah, I always packed my lunch. The school food was bad.
Honestly, I like didn't eat lunch in high school. Like I would just wait until I got home from school.
Sounds bad.
It was fine.
How are you not
Like
starving?
I just wasn't.
Did
Like
you eat?
I definitely ate a lot of food in general. Like I wasn't like not eating. It was just like I didn't want to eat breakfast and I wasn't really hungry by like 11
Wait, so
a.m., which was when lunch was.
you didn't eat breakfast either?
No.
So
Like
your first food of the day was
would
when you
probably be
get
around like
home?
2 p.m. Yeah.
Wait, why did you got out at 2?
Well, like I like for junior and senior year, I barely was in the school at all. So I could just eat like at a normal lunchtime. But for sophomore, like in freshman year, I feel like it would probably be like 2:30 ish. I don't know. I kind of forget. But it was like a normal time. Because working.
So what did
Like
you
that.
do during
No,
lunch? Did you just like stare at everyone else eating while you
I would just like hang
stood
out with
there
friends and
hungry?
like talk with them kind of thing. But I just like wasn't hungry at that point in the day. Because our lunches were always so early. They were like 10:30, 11ish. And I'm like, I'm just not hungry at this point. And so I'll
It
just
is.
bring food and not eat it and then not be allowed to eat it in my classroom. So it just kind of goes to waste. Like it just wasn't worth it. I always got the early lunches, to be fair. We had like our school split into 3 different lunch periods, and I always got like the first one, which was always way too early for me.
Yeah, ours is the same. There's like maybe more. I feel like there was maybe 5 or 6 options for lunch spread throughout the
Hmm.
day. And yeah, the early one's at like 10, and that's too early.
Yeah,
But
way too
if
early.
I was in that, I don't think I ever had the early lunch. But if I was in that situation, even if I wasn't hungry, I would still eat because I know I would be hungry in a period or two.
I just wasn't. I don't know. It's the whole thing where I don't like eating that early in the day because it'll just kind of like hurt my stomach. I can handle like a piece of toast, and that's like it.
But I still can't get over you not eating breakfast as well. Like I could understand maybe like yeah, you had a good breakfast, but you just didn't eat at all.
No. I ate when I got home. I want to make it clear I did eat food. Food was consumed. It was just mostly later in the day.
So did you like
Yes.
eat when you got home and then
Yeah.
ate again later in the day, or did you
Yeah.
just like get home, eat, and that was it?
No, I would eat a lot when I got home, and then like a big lunch, and then I would eat dinner, and then I would go to bed. Not immediately, but like we
Okay,
also
that makes sense.
Like
yeah,
the
it was also
standard
like
schedule.
it wasn't like we didn't really eat a lot of dinner like as a family. So I could just eat dinner whenever I wanted to. Also, so I would always have later dinners too, which then meant I wouldn't be very hungry in the morning. So
But
like
you were in theater, weren't you? So what do
yeah,
you do for that? So like,
um,
because doesn't that go till late?
I might like pack a bar or something if I was gonna stay right after. But also like a lot of that I did I only did lights. So I was only there for like 3 weeks. It would just be like 3 weird weeks.
I'm just trying to imagine because I always did sports, so
Sure.
it would usually be like school is I don't know when we start 8 till 2:30 to 40,
Yeah.
and then you have practice from like 3 to 5. So then you get back at like 5, 5:15 or whatever. And the idea of not eating, like the last meal I had was like something I ate before bed at like 10, 11 the previous night, and then not eating till like 5:30.
I would never be that long. Yeah.
But even to like 3, like waiting till
Sure.
3, I could not do that.
I just
Mystifying that was just your life.
I don't know. It worked for me. Like I was never like starving at any point. It was always like, oh, I'll just have food later in the day. It's kind of just a weird way to intermittent fast. Like people do
You're just
that.
listening to your body.
I suppose.
Yeah. It's weird hours because normally people do that from like 8 a.m. to like 5 p.m. But like, it was just for me, it was 3 p.m. to like 10 p.m. and that was it. Yeah.
How late were you eating dinner then?
It would depend. Because like definitely also if I was like working or if I was doing the theater thing. Because like sometimes our rehearsals went really, really late during tech weeks. Which wasn't always
I
legal,
know
I
it's a
don't
thing
think.
too that you're not supposed to eat too late at night
No,
because
for sure not. I've never
your
listened
body
to that.
needs to shut down to sleep. So if it
Yeah.
has to operate to digest food, it's not shutting down. So it makes it harder to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
See, my dad used to like annoy me with that because he'd be like, "You're eating too late," and I'm like, I also go to bed at like 2, 3 a.m.
Yeah.
Well,
Like
it's
me
same.
eating at like 10 p.m. Like there's plenty of time.
I
it's,
feel like
it's
same,
also
yeah.
like big meals. That's why I'm asking when you ate dinner, because it's like if you ate dinner at like 10 and then went to bed at 12, not great. But if you have like a snack or something, like that's what I always do. But
And I would never go to bed at midnight.
yeah, I know. Foolish of me to assume you
I'm
went to
not
bed at a
old.
normal time. I don't know why I thought you got more than 2 hours of sleep any conceivable
Especially
night.
in high school. That was like the height of the insomnia. That was like no
Yeah.
sleep at
How
all.
dare you assume such a
Yeah.
thing?
You know me better than that. Oh man. Yeah. It was a delight. But good to know. Yeah, school lunches always kind of looked gross though, to be fair. I was not like made more hungry by seeing school lunches. It was always just kind of like, sorry you're eating that. I'm gonna
Some
have a
of them
good
were
meal when I
good
go home.
though.
Yeah. Sorry.
I don't. In my middle school, they had
Okay.
really good cookies that you could buy. They were $1 each, and they were massive, and they were
Love that.
extremely delicious.
That
But
sounds
beyond
incredible.
that, I don't think they had anything good.
Sure.
And then they changed companies, and then the cookies were bad. Like my 8th grade year, and then the cookies in high school were terrible as well.
Fair. I don't know. I feel like no one really hyped about anything in my school cafeteria, especially high school. Except for those cheese stick things. And then I think most of my friends either packed their lunches or got like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Which, you know, fine and dandy, but not really like mouth-watering.
That's when I went vegan. The PB&J was the only thing I could eat,
I
and they'd
bet,
like
yeah.
pack it with like PB&J. There'd be like a cheese stick, and there'd be like goldfish. So I would just like
Only
give
the
away,
PB&J. Yeah.
yeah, and like with apple juice, and that was all I'd be able to have.
Oh, geez. Yeah. Fair. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, that was only like a freshman, sophomore year, and then junior and senior. I was there during lunch, but it was mostly to talk to my friends because that would be the only time that I was like in the school. Yeah, but it was good. Good life. I did start eating lunches earlier, and now Adam, you'll be happy to hear. I think the latest I have dinner nowadays is like 7.
A normal time.
Yeah.
A normal schedule. That is good.
Thank you. Anyway, Yoana, what's the worst vegan food? What's like, why insult us like that?
Vegan mac and cheese, I think.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
That I don't think I've ever had like an actually good one.
Uh-huh.
There's been like, okay, Rena likes to hate on this.
Okay.
We went to Sweet Arts Cafe, and they had like a vegan mac and cheese.
Mm-hmm.
And it tasted nothing like vegan mac and cheese. So she was like, this is disgusting. How dare they call this vegan mac and cheese? But if you think of it as just like pasta on its own,
Uh-huh.
and don't like compare it to mac and cheese, it
Sure.
wasn't actually that bad. It
Okay.
had like sweet potato, which was not advertised everywhere, and that kind of like throws you off.
Yeah.
That sounds like a weird addition to mac and cheese.
cheese.
Maybe I'm a mac
Yeah.
and cheese purist, but
Yeah.
But I only expect macaroni and cheese.
that's just like a really weird addition.
Yeah, so I think mac and cheese, they definitely, vegan cheese is usually a miss. There's
That's
like
fair.
some good ones,
Yeah.
but for the most part, if you're not careful, it'll ruin everything.
Fair. Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah, I've heard vegan cheese is pretty bad.
I feel like I've only had Daya vegan cheese, and that was fine. It
Yeah,
wasn't
that one's
like bad. Yeah.
There's like some really good like cream cheese. Like vegan cream cheese is good.
That's what I've heard, is that that's the best vegan cheese, is cream cheese.
Yeah,
Which,
they
like,
really they get
works for
that
me.
down.
Yeah.
I don't think I've had vegan nacho cheese.
Oh, interesting. Huh.
I'm not sure. I'm sure I know it's out there.
I feel like
Some
that's got to be a
restaurants,
good one, or like an easier one to do, because I know that a lot of people have made it with um, like cashews and then like
yeah,
the yeast thing. Um,
yeah.
yeah.
Rena and I went to this like all vegan taco place here, which
Mhm.
is like it's called Terra Taco, and it's like themed as like a horror movie thing.
Oh,
So like each table, like the little number you get is like a different horror movie, and it's like
huh.
it's so super cool.
Yeah, that sounds fun.
And like all the stuff there is vegan. And it's actually like all really good.
Mhm.
Like all of it was just amazing.
Nice. Love that.
And like their vegan cheese was like good. Like
We love that. Yeah. Hey Adam, how about you? What's like the most insulted you've been when someone's been like, it's for the vegetarians?
I don't think I really have an experience like that. Besides people being like, "Oh, you're a vegetarian? We have some vegetables, I guess." Like
Right.
that, like there just isn't like a food option.
Yeah.
Like I don't think I ever had like, "This is the food we've made for you as the vegetarian."
Yeah.
That's terrible. Like it's really just there isn't anything at all.
Fair. Yeah. I think that's pretty much what happens. Is it's usually just a lack of food rather than like a really bad option. Although one time it was really sweet. Someone's mom made me like a vegetarian like Thanksgiving stuffing type of thing. It was very sweet of them to do that, but it was also really gross. And did not
yes.
taste good. Yeah.
Yikes.
I did eat it though because I didn't want to be mean. But yeah.
When my high school boyfriend, when I went to meet his parents,
Mm-hmm.
I guess like because we were like kind of late, like we were doing our own thing, and he was like, "Let's go meet them."
Mm-hmm.
And apparently they like prepared a whole like vegan salad for me,
Oh wow.
but I wasn't warned. Like I thought they were just like eating, and we were kind of like crashing.
Sure.
Oh.
And so I like also was just kind of like so nervous, and I didn't want to eat. And like months later, he was like, "My family made that salad just for you, and you did not take a bite out of it." And I was like, "You did not warn me at all. That one is on you."
Oh man. Yeah. Jeez. Fair enough. Well, what rained on y'all's parades in the last like month since we've talked?
Hmm.
I still don't have plane tickets for Bulgaria, which is
Ooh, concerning. Aren't you going there in like a few weeks?
end of the month.
Yep.
Should be going. Yeah,
I still
because
got
my
some time.
family
3 weeks.
can't get its act together to find out when we're
Almost
all
4
flying
weeks.
because we all have like different like schedules
Mhm.
and like we like want to team up where like no one flies alone, which I was like I'm fine with flying alone.
Sure. Yeah.
So and we waited way too long. And now they're
Fair.
all very expensive, and we're all like panicking about getting plane tickets.
Fair. Yeah. Jeez. I know.
So I could be wrong, but isn't it a strategy to wait literal last minute to buy plane tickets because they're cheaper then? Like it's some
I
weird
don't
thing where
think
like
for
they get.
international flights.
I mean, yeah, maybe. I thought there was a thing like the price goes up the closer it gets, but then there's like a critical period where like pretty close to the plane flight it goes down because now at that point the plane's gonna fly no matter what and they just need to fill seats.
I know you're supposed to buy on a weekend and fly on a Tuesday.
I thought it was the opposite way that you buy on a Tuesday.
You buy for a Tuesday. Because that's like people don't want to fly on a Tuesday because it's the middle of the week.
Huh.
Yeah.
That would make more sense than buy on a Tuesday.
I think I did hear the buy on a Tuesday thing though.
Really?
That sounds very
Have
familiar.
I been thinking about it wrong for like years? Because
Well,
this is what I've
I'm
thought
sure-
for years.
I'm sure it's probably cheaper to also fly on a Tuesday, but I do think that it's familiar to buy it on a Tuesday.
Oh man, I might have wasted so much money.
Don't ask us for plane advice.
The
Well, I'll
flight
give you
fares
different
usually
advice.
online it says that they plummet on Mondays and Tuesdays, so those are the days to
Wow.
buy.
Okay. Well, oops. All those Tuesday flights.
I think there's probably more options if you are flying on a weekend as well.
Sure. Yeah.
Because I know
Makes
my
sense.
dad travels for work, and because it's during the week, his flight options are very limited. So it's like, oh, I guess I'm flying at like 8 p.m. or something like that, where it's like, this is really not conducive to what you need to be, but it's the only thing that's available.
Fair. Yeah. I think I had a sunny thing this week in that yesterday Adam and I and a bunch of others had a little game day, or like kind of a game night, except it was in the middle of the day. And it was really fun. It was a good time. We played a bunch of code names. I apparently know a lot more about Christianity than I thought I did.
Yeah,
and
you were the Christian expert among.
What a horrible Christian expert to have.
Out of the people who were there,
Yeah.
no one was religious, so.
No, everyone was at best agnostic, and it was wonderful. But there were a lot of Christian references that I was making apparently, but some of them worked. Yeah. How about you, Adam? That was really fun.
I guess I also have a sunny thing, I suppose. My family and I have been playing Dungeons and Dragons, and I have been running it.
It's so fun.
Fun.
Yeah.
So we've done 2 different one-shots, and
very cute. Yeah.
My brother is like, you need to make like 8 more, so we can do it every weekend, which
delightful.
won't happen. But I am.
No, but it's cute that he's so excited for
it.
Like that's nice. Yeah.
It's been kind of fun.
Okay, what inspired it? Like, what was the beginning? Were you just wanting to DM, and you were like, "You guys are gonna be my little puppets," or were they like, "We want to play, and you're gonna DM"?
No, I think we were talking about playing because my girlfriend played last year, but that campaign kind of fell apart, and then my brother played, I think last year as well, and then through like his friends
it's hard to keep
going off to
campaigns
school,
going.
it just didn't stay. So like,
yeah,
I think they were like, we want to play, and we roped my sister into it, and she ended up having a good time. But it was like, all right, now we have a fill out, and I had some stuff like pretty much ready to go. So
yeah,
it's worked out.
very fun. Yeah, I love that. All right, well, watch Stranger Things and play D&D along with it. And beaches are a thing you could go to this summer. And try vegan cream cheese. That was anyone's day. Bye.
Bye.